What Lonzo thinks is a free-flowing conversation where I wax poetic on everything from sports, television, music, movies, current events, politics. You name it, if it's happening, I got something to say about it. And today I have a special guest. I have one of the world's foremost Prince aficionados and experts, besides myself, Sean Hill from the left coast. What's going on, guy?
What's going on, man? This is Sean. Some folks know me as HILLSTREETVIEWZ online. Just here to chop it up with my boy Lonzo and talk about our favorite subject and favorite artist of all time. The artist formerly known as Prince, or now is known as Prince now, but definitely Prince. So let's get it on.
No doubt. Oh, by the way, just so you know, brother, I've been pumping up your HILLSTREETVIEWZ on my podcast. So folks out there, they should who do listen to me, they know about Hill Street, and every opportunity I get, I make sure everybody knows that you have a wonderful website, and that you offer a lot of astute analysis when it comes to film. So keep doing your thing, homie.
Yeah, it's a little dormant right now, just because of the living situation and whatnot, and being able to get to the movies. So it's been a while since I've updated, but I still got content on there that can be checked out. I got great scenes, some Prince content, of course, and movie reviews. So definitely check it out, and I promise I'll be back in full form at some point.
Oh, no doubt, we'll definitely be checking for it, brother. Definitely. All right, Prince Rogers Nelson. I've talked about him ad nauseum all my life, so I feel that there's very little that I don't know about the cat, and I know that's the same when it comes to you. So I think this conversation would be a little bit redundant if we, like everybody and their grandma have over the last year and a half, just kind of waxed on his life and his career. It's been done to death, so I don't think we can cover any new ground when it comes to those type of discussions. So we'll leave that for somebody else. So I think we'll try to take it in a little bit different direction. Kind of hard to cover new ground when it comes to Prince, since he is Prince, and everybody once again has been following him, all of his career. So and obviously, after his passing, a lot of people kind of wax poetic about him in retrospect and things of that nature. So we don't need to go there again. But I will start off by saying, and I've said this before, and you've read this, me saying this before. To me, Prince is not dead. He just stopped making music. What are your thoughts on that?
That is true. I mean, he's no longer with us, but he's left a great catalog of released music and unreleased music, and so the stuff is out there, and we ain't getting anything new, and it saddens me, but I still rejoice and live in the old school and all of that. As a matter of fact, let your listeners know, you actually gave me my first bootleg material way back when. You gave me a cassette tape. I know it had Darla Nikki on it. I think it had the Beautiful Ones. It had a lot of the Purple Rain stuff. So
G-Spot.
I was already, of course. Yeah, I was already a fan, back then. But I met you in high school, and you were like, "Hey, check these out," because I hadn't heard of them. I'm like, "What is this?" And I popped them in the cassette tape, cassette player rather, and my mind was I was already in awe of the Purple Rain material. But then I hear this, and it's like, man, this is even better than what's on the album. So, I still got that tape somewhere too.
Oh wow, it still plays.
Yeah, it still plays.
I lost mine, man. Many years ago, I lost mine. So I don't know what happened to it. Did I ever tell you how I came across that?
No.
Okay, interesting story here, man. Okay, obviously back in the day, anything got to do with Prince, man. I'm lapping it up like a thirsty dog, man. But do you remember Right On magazine?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Is Right On still in publication, by the way?
I'm sorry?
Is Right On still in print? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't follow anybody that they, would cover anyway,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They were a bunch of, titty boppers, but I don't think most of those magazines, I think they're out of print now.
Well, for those out there listening to us who don't know what Right On magazine is, that was a magazine geared towards the urban audience. Hell, black people. It was by black people for black people, and it basically was kind of like, I guess, like a Teen Beat, Tiger Beat type.
Yeah.
You know.
Tiger Beat.
Yeah. So it's the same type of where it offered some nothing too damning about the stars. Basically, just fawned over the stars and put the whatever who was hot at that time on the cover, try to drum up some sort of controversy, like Prince versus Michael or Rick James versus whomever. And then you get inside and read the story. It's like one paragraph, and the writers wasn't worth a damn. So, and just a bunch of photos and ads, but it held our interest back then. We didn't have internet, so Right On, it filled a void, I guess, but it was never worth a damn, and I don't miss it. But anyway, Right On magazine back in the day. They had a pen pal section, and I had a couple pen pals that I would get from Right On. For those who don't know what pen pals are, back then we had things called letters and mail, where you actually write a letter, and it was before internet, obviously, and emails and all that kind of stuff and texting. So you'd actually have to write a letter, send it to somebody in another city, and they'd write back to you, and you become pals through this this process. And Right On had a pen pal ad in the rear of every magazine where you could find somebody in a city that had like kind of interest. You can start up a friendship with them. Anyways, had this girl in Minneapolis. I was searching for somebody in Minneapolis, right, that I could hook up with, obviously, and get more stuff on Prince. It was this girl. Her name was Sherry. And I hit her up, and we started pen paling, man. And she started sending me all kinds of stuff, man. She had to hook up for your ass. So that's how it came about. And she sent me that tape that I shared with you, man. Somebody, I think it was an uncle or somebody she was related to or was friends with, actually worked for Prince in some capacity and stole that tape and made her a copy, and that's how it kind of matriculated its way to me. And when I think about that tape, I kind of think about Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men when he's talking about how that quarter went, through his journey to get to where it is. That's what that tape did with me, and it's found its way to you and whoever you shared it with as well. So that's how you got that tape, dude. So Sherry of Minneapolis, if you're still alive and with us, thank you a lot.
Shout out, definitely.
Oh, no doubt. Okay, all right. Now back to the subject at hand, Prince. Now, starting off, we're gonna discuss our favorite album and why. And I think it's important when you speak with any Prince fan that you kind of quantify their legitimacy by asking them direct questions about his music and their thoughts on it. And I think that's what I do to weed people out. Because as soon as I ask somebody, hey, what's your favorite Prince album or song, when they say When Doves Cry, I totally shut them off. What do you think?
When Doves Cry is a great song. I mean, let's be clear. It is a classic. It is good enough to be considered a number one song. But with all the material that he has, it definitely isn't my number one. Actually, I have a new number one now, as a matter of fact. Pure Blues, because it's been released in the expanded edition of Purple Rain, and since it's been released as official now, I can honestly say that is my favorite Prince song right now. At least I think it's going to stay. It's just, and I know this isn't about the Pure Blue or whatever, but that song to me is what Prince is all about. But yeah, I would definitely, I wouldn't discount someone for saying When Doves Cry, but I would still them a little bit deeper. Well, have you heard this? What about this? What about stuff from the Rainbow Children, or stuff from Sign of the Times, or stuff from Parade, or anything? And now, if they haven't heard those, then yeah, I'm gonna give you the side eye. But I wouldn't discount someone automatically because they say When Doves Cry. I can see why people would say that.
Okay, let me call you out, man. I know you know a lot of diehard Prince fans like myself. Have you ever in your life met a diehard Prince fan, somebody on our level, who says When Doves Cry is their favorite song?
No, I have not.
Enough said, right?
But I wouldn't not discount them though. Like I said, I would ask more questions, but I see your point. I mean, again, it's a great song and it deserves every accolade it's gotten, but more deeper, more better cuts out there. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I love When Doves Cry. It's definitely, you know, in its top 20 cuts without a doubt. I mean, it's a bona fide Stone Cold classic. So, you know, so me saying that is not disparaging the song, just disparaging the person who says it's their favorite song. Because to me,
right.
If somebody tells me that's their favorite song, they have not listened to Prince at all.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I say I would ask further knowledge of Prince, because you know it's an easy choice for a casual fan, and it's an easy choice for a diehard. You like that song as your favorite song. I won't disparage you. I will question you, but I won't disparage you. So
Yeah,
let's move on.
Yeah, I you know, just to close that out, I just find it impossible for anyone to have listened to Prince's entire catalog and to come out with that being their number one song. That's me. So, but you're right. You're absolutely right. No shade on anybody who thinks that's their favorite song. No shade at all. Okay, so your favorite album? Why?
My favorite album, without a doubt, and I get asked this question all the time, more so since he passed, but I get asked this question all the time. My favorite Prince album is Sign of the Times, no doubt. There's some other great albums out there, 1999, of course, Purple Rain, Rainbow Children is an excellent album, Love Sexy, but for me, song for song and pound for pound and just what off of the album are great. And yeah, Sign of the Times is it for me. And I wrote this article on my blog about it. It's called Sign of the Times, Mess With My Mind, lyric from the song. Let's put it away. The first side, Sign of the Times, Play in the Sunshine, Housequake, and Ballad of Dorothy Parker are four of the best songs he's ever written, period. Release those and been done with it. Release it as an EP or whatever, and he could have dropped the mic after those four songs. But yet there are 13 more tracks on there that are all stellar. I think the only I guess clunker in my book, the latter part of it just goes on too long for me, and all of Slow Love. I just can't get into that cut. I love the live version for the movie, from Sounds of the movie, but think about the album version. Now Purple Rain is a flawless album. That album is I think with his creativity and with what he was doing with Sign of the Times album and just how it came about, I think that shows maturity level or growth musically that he didn't have with Purple Rain. Purple Rain is, it's basically a rock album, let's be clear. Guitar heavy, very, very much so. A lot of live cuts on there too. Whereas Sign of the Times is kind of all over the map, but in a good way. Again, the first four songs, you could put four different songs from the same artist together. I could play that whole side for somebody and say, that's one artist doing that. Again, you cap the first side off with Ballad of Dorothy Parker, which that's top 10 material right there. And it's a simple song. It's a drum beat, little keyboards in there, and that's basically it. Just weave the story and all of that. But yeah, I know I'm going on a little bit here, but yeah, Sign of the Times is definitely it for me. Some of the highlights of the album, Play in the Sunshine, Ballad of Dorothy Parker, which I've already mentioned, Life, If I Was Your Girlfriend, The Cross, Adore. I mean, there's just so many good songs on there, and he hasn't. Well, I guess he had not ever been able to top that album, and I guess I'm kind of glad he didn't try to, because as it stands for me, Sign of the Times is his best album.
Did I lose you?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I lost you for a second there. Okay, all right. Okay, I agree with you for the most part, and you're absolutely right about Dorothy Parker. To me, Dorothy Parker is like in his top 3 songs of all time, easy in my mind. And like you say, it's a very simple song, but to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but to me, Dorothy Parker is the most visual song I've ever heard. If you listen to the lyrics, it's the most visual song I've ever heard in my life. And I don't think anything would ever touch. That song is so well written. And he's actually telling such a story. It's a beautiful story that obviously 99% of the population will never get it. And I'm through trying to explain it. But the vocal arrangement, the musical arrangement, and the visual concept behind that song makes it a freaking masterpiece. And you're absolutely right.
It has no chorus, and it has no chorus. It has no bridge. It's not your typical song where verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, whatever. He just tells the story and just sings it straight through without that. Imagine what a chorus on that song would sound like, or a bridge on that song would sound like. It's perfect as is.
Yeah, I think it would hurt the song if it had a chorus or a bridge. I think it's perfect just the way it is. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, and also, and I feel kind of strange saying this, but that is one song by Prince I do not like live. I don't like the way he performs it live. I never have liked the way he performed it live. I think the album version is perfect, but I've heard him sing it live many a time, and it just doesn't move me live as it did. Studio cut. Any thoughts on that?
A lot of the material on Sound of the Times, I think, doesn't translate well over to the live setting. Dorothy Parker is definitely one. I'm trying to think of another one. I think Dorothy Parker is the one song that does it, and I think it's because of the drum beat. I think it's because just that back then, 87, 88 on the drums, and this was more of a Lindrum, kind of exercise or whatever. And I don't think that the intricacies of that beat can be replicated by a quote unquote human, that's why when he did do it, he did it with I want to say it was the song 4 for Madhouse. So he always, I think every time I've heard it live, he comboed the two, and it was more of a jazzy. And there's nothing wrong with a jazzy arrangement of the song. It just, I don't know, it just takes away from the simpleness. Like we've said, it's a simple song. It's a beat and keyboards. That's it. That's it. Live, he adds horns, he adds other stuff to it, and it becomes this vamp at the end where he adds 4. And again, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 4, but he adds 4 to it, something else. So I think it gets lost. It kind of is like it becomes a band piece. It becomes like on the keyboards, on the bass, on this, because I've heard it that way too. So I think that's kind of, we're in the same boat. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and definitely not a knock on him. I mean, it's great live, but to me, that song does not translate well. So that, once again, that's just my opinion. I'm glad you kind of see that too, because a lot of folks, and that begs another question: the title. A lot of Prince's song titles turn people off, I think, because think about it. Okay, Sign of the Time came out what, 86, 87? And 87. Okay, so I was a teenager. I was in high school. You were in high school. So so you're 17, 16 years old, and you're reading the album jacket, and you see the Ballad of Dorothy Parker. First of all, who in the hell is Dorothy Parker?
Dorothy Parker, right?
Yeah, and 2, the ballad. I mean, it's like a folk type ballad type title. I think a lot of Prince's titles turn people off, and they don't give the song the recognition or give it the attention it deserves just because of the title. What do you think?
I think that's true. And there's another song on that album.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going.
That definitely, I'll speak on Dorothy Parker. Yeah, he claimed rather, I still have a hard time in the past tense, that he didn't know who Dorothy Parker was. He liked the name, but he didn't know who she was, which may be true, I don't know. But yeah, because you think, we're 16, 17 years old, we think ballad, we're thinking, ooh, slow jam, this is going to be, nice. This
right.
Going to be something, sweet, and it's not a ballad at all. So I agree with you there. But the other song, since we're on the subject, the other song on the album that is I won't say controversial, but the most misunderstood has got to be If I Was Your Girlfriend. Now, when I saw the title, when I got the album, saw the title, I'm like, whoa. No, Prince didn't do this. He did not write a song with the title If I Was Your Girlfriend. And my mind was, listen to the album in full, listen to You Got the Look, because it's right before it. The song starts, and I'm like, you better come with it. And come with it, he did. If I Was Your Girlfriend is probably, I would say, one of the best songs he's written about, and there's actually two songs on the album that he wrote about commitment, but this one is a little bit deeper than the other one. Just the things that he talks about on that album. If I was your girlfriend, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? I always say this: who writes that? Who comes up with something like that? That is so deep. Would you let me dress you? That kind of thing. And it's not a girlfriend like he's a girl. He's saying if I was, your girlfriend, your friend, would you let me do these things that you let your girlfriend do? And I think that is so deep, so deep. And the other song is Forever My Life, and that one too, same thing, just so deep. And I still think that, I know what was going on in his personal life at the time, and that song is just so, a lot of people use it as a wedding song, or a first dance song, or whatever. And I personally, I think that was probably the most mature record, I think. He was with Susanna at the time, and a lot of the songs were written about her back then. Susanna Melvon, Wendy's twin sister. Of course, the nature of their relationship, but definitely it did something to him, and that creativity was just coming out of him. And yeah, that song. Again, the whole album. And it's definitely my favorite. But I know what your favorite is. So go ahead and reveal yours, and I'll debunk it. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on.
Your album is a great album too. Your album is great.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me back up a little bit though. I just want to just kind of add something about If I Was Your Girlfriend, and this is my theory.
Sorry.
One of my theories when it comes to Prince. Obviously, he's a musical genius. Okay. And when you're a genius, when you're smart, no matter what you're doing, any walk of life, when you're the smartest person in the room, it comes a bit of arrogance comes with it. And I think you just assume that whatever you talk about, people understand what you're trying to say. And I think that is where he kind of missed out with If I Was Your Girlfriend. And some of his other songs that are just so deep that, because you got to think about your audience. A lot of folks are just somebody who just want to listen to a record, have a good time, and not even think. So when they see something that says, If I Was Your Girlfriend, just see the title and then listen to the song, they're not going to get it because they don't care enough to get it. And I think that's why that song failed as a single. That song is a number one hit. By far, it's a number one hit. One of the best songs ever written.
Yeah, I do think, though, that it was a terrible choice for a single. And the reason why I say that, because the song, like you said, the song is too deep for, and you always gotta transpose yourself back to '87. What was going on in music, and some of the other artists that were out, and there was nothing that deep. And I mean, it's really nothing that deep now. I mean, but in '87, there was just nobody was that deep, and I think.
And you got to think about homophobia as well. Homophobia was at a yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too. No one you got Prince singing "If I Was Your Girlfriend." You got him using a Camille voice, so he sounds like a girl. So and you got that. You got kind of a slow thing going on, and again, it's just a beat. Nothing else to it, and keyboards again. And I just don't think the public was ready for that. Do I think it's a great single? Of course I think it's a great single. Even the B-side's great, but we won't get into that. But I just think that was one where we were estimated what we were willing, well, not we, but what the general public was willing to accept from him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's one of the things. It kind of saddens me as a Prince fan that song didn't get the recognition it deserves, and that I think that's one of the great crimes of musical history, to me. And yeah, we can go on all day about that, and it's not going to get us any place different. It just is what it is, and I think us as Prince fans, we can just enjoy it because we understand it, and everybody else can kick rocks. Right. Yeah,
exactly.
So on to my favorite album. Okay, now you're right and you're wrong. Okay, I am constantly vacillating between my favorite album, and it's a constant problem that I have, man. So right now I'm on a different album, but yeah, but put a gun to my head, and say, hey, you got to listen to one album continuously for the rest of your life. It would probably be Love Sexy, but right now, 1999 is my favorite.
Well, that would have been my guess. I would have guessed 1999 was your favorite.
Okay. So you're right on then. You're right on. and I'm going to quantify both albums because both albums, to me, they signify a turning point in my life. So that's why they resonate deeper with me than some of his other albums. Obviously, Sign of the Times is right there with it. But Sign of the Times came along in my life when there were things going on that really kind of didn't. Kind of hard to put it into words, but Sign of the Times hit me at the wrong time.
I can see that.
Okay.
I understand.
Well, whereas 1999 hit me just as I was kind of coming into, getting through puberty or whatever, and really becoming this dude who liked girls and that kind of stuff. So that's why 1999 kind of digs into me. Whereas Love Sexy, I was in love when Love Sexy came out, and my girlfriend at the time didn't like Prince, and that album came out, and I played it for her, and she fell in love with Prince. So that's why that song even resonates with me even more, because that album turned somebody onto Prince, and it happened to be the person I was in love with at the time. So that song that album has a deep resonance with me as well. Anyways, back to 1999. Yes, 1999 is my favorite album, and to me, well, obviously, you can say this about most of his albums, but every single song on that album is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Every single note of every single song is a masterpiece. There's no dead weight. There's no filler. There is no song you be like, I can skip it this time. To me, there is no song.
There's one for me. There's one song for me that I usually skip. And
don't say All the Critics Love You in New York. Don't say that.
No, I said free. It's free.
Oh, free. Okay. I'm sorry. All right, I missed that part. Why?
I think because, now I know what should have been in his place. Love Levels, which I think is a better song. So I think that one would have fit better.
What song?
There in that spot. Moonbeam Levels.
Okay.
Or no, some people know it as A Better Place to Die, but and now it's officially released. It's on Prince Forever now. But I just think that maybe the sequencing of the album might be at fault, because up until that point, where I think that's the 6th song on the album, I think, and or 8th. Anyway, it's the 8th song on the album, and everything up to that point had been a banger. I mean, had been just, DMSR and Let's Pretend We're Married and Delirious. I mean, just everything had been a banger. And then you get to this one. This is kind of a victim of the CD too. I know what's coming up next. I know Lady Cab Driver is after Free, right? So it's a victim of its placement. Now I don't know where you would put it, improve the album or improve the song, but I just think that it's where it sits, between Something in the Water and Free, or Lady Cab Driver. It just doesn't mesh. And I think the song is, I want to say, too sincere. It's too sincere for that album, I think. I just think that what he's singing about is great, but it's a party album. You know what I mean? And up until that point, every song had been upbeat. Hey, let's dance, let's party, or whatever. And just to me, I just think it bogs the album down. It's a good song, but I just think it's misplaced.
Do you think it would have fit better after 1999?
That's something. I think the segue. I think the seg between 1999 and Little Red Corvette is perfect. Maybe it would have done better after Delirious. Maybe he could have done that one, kind of like a ballad. Put the slow song, the 4th song, rather than the 3rd.
No, come on now. Delirious and Let's Pretend You're Married. That sounds like it's like a extension of the next, right?
Well, we got to remember, we're talking about 82, so we're talking about vinyl.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah.
So, flipping the album over and all that stuff. So, and I don't know I guess configuration. I don't know if it would have fit, as far as space-wise. I don't really know how albums work and how the space and all that. So I don't know if it would have fit, physically fit, but I think maybe it might work. And actually, I might try that. I might redo my 92-foot Free how it flows. But maybe, go ahead. I'm taking over your view. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I mean, you make an excellent point, and I agree that if there was a song that could fall into the category of skip, it would be Free. But I just think Free is such a good song that even within the context of this album, it still works, and I don't think it bogs it down. I think it's a good breather until you jump, before you jump into Lady Cab Driver and then into the rest of the album. I think the only other place you could have possibly put Free is between All the Critics Love You and International Lover.
Well, but then you got 2 slow songs back to back.
True. In one context, I think it'll be a great way to close the album out with 2 slow songs. One obviously, the songs are totally different, but I think it's a good way to kind of close it out versus dropping that, that ballad in the middle of all the hyperkinetic energy of the opening part of the album. It's a tough placement. You're right. It's a tough placement.
Yeah.
And you're right that it does drag the album where it currently is. But when I listen to it, especially listening to it on CD, it allows me to kind of catch my breath. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can, get myself ready for what's coming next, obviously, which is the masterpiece, Lady Cab Driver. But, but when I listen to this album and when I think about it, it is just, like when I first heard it, man, I'm like, who in the hell is doing this? Why is this guy so good? I mean, it still amazes me to this day that one person can make an album. It's 11 tracks, I believe. One person can make an album and every single song be that good. And this is a day and age where you're lucky if you listen to an album. You're lucky if 2 songs are good.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And
well, that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic.
Right. And with Prince, and I've said this before, up until which album? Up until I think through Love Sexy. Through Love Sexy, every song on every album through Love Sexy is awesome. There's not a bad song in that bunch.
The first Pump Your Brakes song for me is Arms of Orion from '89's Batman. That was the first time I was like, whoa, okay, you maybe lost a little bit of your genius category from me. I think it's a Lemon Crush for you, right? I think, right?
Yeah, Lemon Crush. And this same girlfriend that I had that I turned on to Love Sexy, she hated Lemon Crush. And whenever I played it, man, she would like want to punch me in my eye. So, but she was right. I will
say real quick, that song has the worst lyric of all time by Prince. When I'm working at my
jobber.
You're the victim, I'm the robber. Robber.
Yeah.
That is the worst Prince lyric of all time. I can't cringe whenever I hear that kind of like, man, you rhyme Jabba with robber, but anyway, I digress. But I do agree with you though. 1999 is solid. Some of the jams, I'm gonna say go on a little long. Lady Cab Driver is perfect. That 7 minutes or maybe 8 minutes, and it is pure just funk heaven. On the other hand, Automatic, that one for me it kind of meanders. It kind of goes on a little long, but I'm like, okay, come on, and I get what he was doing. It's a precursor to Computer Blues, so I can't really, dog it out too much. But I think, just for me, that it just goes on, just maybe a minute or two off of that ending, and well, not really the ending, but the midsection, and you probably got a solid cut. I like the cut, but it's just a little long. DMSR, no, do not shave a second. Actually, as a matter of fact, and I'm sure you've heard it too, the longer version of DMSR is even better than the version that's on the album. And I don't know why he, cut it down, but I guess maybe for space or, the limitations back then, but and maybe took off Free off.
Man, leave Free alone. Free did nothing to you, son. But yeah, you're right. You're right. To me, I wanted. To me, the longer the better. I back then I didn't want any of his songs to end. I mean, please just keep going and going and going. So the length really didn't bother me that much on any of his songs. Cause hell, like Bacon Skin. Come on, that's what just drums for like 20 minutes, right?
Well, yeah. I don't think that was ever really meant for release.
Yeah, I know.
I think he threw it on the crystal ball just because. But yeah, that song meanders, yes.
But yeah, so yeah, that's why 1999 is my favorite, and I guess I kind of feel bad, and you can probably agree with me here. I feel bad when I have to pick one album over another, because then it's like I'm putting down some other great work like Sign of the Times or like Dirty Mind, albums like that I'm putting it down, but I'm not. It's just when you have perfection, when you have really he has probably like 6 or 7 perfect albums.
Yeah. So
when you have that much perfection, you're splitting hairs, and really it just comes down to how it resonates with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. exactly. Because I wouldn't put you down at all for picking 1999. I mean, I mentioned it when when I was talking about my favorite albums. That was one of them. I think, and again, it's just for me. I think Sign of the Times is a more mature work. I mean, you know, he stuck to the confines of what, you know, songs should be, or what pop songs should be. You know, 4 or 5 minutes, with the exception of I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man and Beautiful Night. You know, the songs are pretty short. You know, pretty straightforward. There's a lot going on in those songs. You know, definitely. Now, with his, you know, unfortunate passing, you know, because he used to always say, you know, what's your favorite album? I haven't written it yet, right?
Right.
So, but
that was a lie. He wrote it.
Well, I know. Well, but now, sadly, there is no more, you know, writing of songs. There are no more, you know, albums that will come out, you know, that are in the moment, or, you know, that he's working on right then. It'll be, you know, hodgepodge or collection or whatever. I've been now, like, kind of declaring, okay, this is my favorite, you know, Prince album, and I've declared Sign of the Times. Now, my favorite song, I never wanted to declare, but I guess I didn't want to declare it because it wasn't officially released, and, you know, opened up a can of worms about, oh, where did you get it, and all this kind of stuff. But now that it's been officially released, again, I can say, and this is, in my opinion, with certainty, that Computer Blue is the best song that he's written. And it's the hallway speech version for those that may be confused. It's on of the Purple Rain remaster, which is a travesty in of itself. I don't know where they got remastered equals louder. I mean, really, you got the remaster, right?
Yeah, I do.
And it's louder.
Yeah.
Okay, you made it louder.
Thank you.
Now what?
Yeah, that's a marketing strategy. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with quality.
I don't want to disparage. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to disparage the family and stuff like that. But, you know, that was his most, I guess, important work in the pop realm. Not his best, but his most important, I think. And they totally messed it up. I mean, you got songs on there that aren't even from the Purple Rain sessions, or, you know, you got songs from 82, 83. You know, Purple Rain was not even really thought of until like late 83. So you've got songs on there that don't even come after Purple Rain. Wonderful Laugh, which I love. That is a great song. But why is it on the Purple Rain remaster? The Dance Electric. Why is that on the Purple Rain? Where's the long version of Darling Nikki? Where's the long version of Take Me With You? Where's the long version of The Beautiful Ones? Where's the long version of, or at least the live versions, or the uncut live versions of I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star, and Purple Rain, for that matter. And I hear through the grapevine that the family's going to, you know, reissue the 83 concert where he debuted this material. Maybe that's why they didn't put it on there. But if you're gonna debut it or whatever, then don't put the Purple Rain out. Don't put that remaster out, because terrible. And then you got songs on there that don't fit. The third disc, I gotta talk. You got songs back to back. You've got long versions, and then you've got the short versions. Why do you need two versions, one shorter than the other, the same song back to back to one another? That makes absolutely no sense at all. None to me. I know they say, well, you know, the completest one. I'm a completist, right? Just give me the long versions.
Oh,
or better yet, put more unreleased stuff on there. I don't need the single version. I don't need the short version of When Doves Cry. I got the long version on disc 1. You it just makes no sense to me. And I don't know who is running the ship. I believe it's his sister that's calling the shots now. And I mean, again, no disrespect, but it's that was a travesty. There was no reissues, not reissues, but no videos, no promotion for it really. Outside of the camp, outside of the purple people.
Well, I think that brings me to another subject that I want to discuss with you, and it's a great segue: the bastardization of Prince. And I think that is what we are living in now. That's what we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives, and and the next generation and generations after are going to have this bastardized version of Prince. And I liken it to Elvis. How Elvis has just become, a picture on a coffee cup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a T-shirt, and that is what just burns me up, man. I mean, my anger, over the subject, man, I can't even quantify it, and I knew this was going to happen.
I'm going to say this. This might be a bit controversial, but some of your anger, my anger too, needs to be put on Prince. There's no will, which for the life of me, pardon the pun, I cannot even fathom. With everything as business savvy as he was, as protecting his image and his name and his music and all of that, not have a will is just unfathomable to me.
Sean, cut the shit, man. Okay, cut the fucking shit. Okay, dude. Now will or no will, it does not matter. Okay, the moment Prince died, everything was up for grabs. Whether he had an ironclad will or not, somebody out there would have found a way to bastardize his legacy. Come on now, we're talking billions of dollars are going to be generated, man. Come on, billions. They would have broke that will. That thing would have went into probate. There is not a court on this planet that would have let any will of Prince stand up. There's too much money involved, man. Too much money involved.
Yeah, I mean, I will give you that.
So why have a will? Why have a will? Why somebody like Prince? It does not matter to have a will because there's too much greed in this world for a will to ever stand up.
Yeah. Well, let me give you another example. I don't know if you follow Kat Dyson or not Kat Glover from the Dancer Side of the Times on Twitter or Facebook, but So Sign of the Times is going to premiere on Showtime sometime in September. I don't know the date. I have the DVD, so I'm not. I don't care. I'm not really excited about it at all. I mean, I can watch it right now if I want. But excuse me, she went on this tirade on, and it's not the first time, but she went on this tirade on Facebook. How who gave permission to air this film? You don't have my permission. You don't have the other band. I'm like. And you could probably speak on this way more than I can. That's not how it works. They don't need your permission to air it, right? You may not like it,
yeah,
but your name is nowhere on that. That's PRN Productions or whatever it was called back then.
I'm sure she signed a release too. I'm sure everybody had to sign a release. You have to in the film industry. You got to sign a release. So. When you sign your contract, that releases your image to be used with this film in perpetuity. So she can shut up on that. Come on.
I mean, she's now walked that back. She's walked it back way. I mean, she's almost walked it back to where she didn't even make the statement. But now she's being a little bit more nicer about it and saying, she's been giving tidbits about the movie, which I already know this stuff. So it's not like she's giving any knowledge of the making of the movie or behind the scenes or whatever. But that's the kind of thing that, and we did a show on another podcast that I'm on. We call it the Purple Civil War, where you've got all of these people, and I'm just going to name them. I'm not going to say which side, but you got Tony, you've got Maite, you've got Kat, you've got Jill Jones, you've got Andre Simone, and just all these different people, from his past on one side or another, and it breaks my heart because you and I know Prince wasn't about that. He wasn't about. He may have been. He may have been, but when it comes down to it, for the public image or whatever, that wasn't what Prince was about. It was about the music. It was about about that. So now you've got all this infighting. Oh, I forgot Sheila. You got all this infighting with all of these people, all with different interests, all with different perspectives. Or they may all be wrong. We don't know. We're not Prince. We're not in his head. We're not in his, ever in Paisley Park or what have you. But them saying Prince wouldn't have wanted this, or Prince would have wanted this, or I'm more important to the legacy than you are, or I was with Prince from this to this, and all that. It's just petty, and it's just sad. Even fans are like that too. I don't know about you, but I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook as far as the Prince thing, and it's pitiful. It's pitiful. They, are literally fighting, saying what Prince would or would not have wanted, and nobody knows.
Yeah, you're right, and we can only speculate on what he may have or not wanted.
Exactly.
So it really depends on what your relationship was with him as to what you can or can't say. So I would listen to somebody more like Andre Simone versus Kat or Tony.
Right.
Because Andre was there from the very beginning. I'm sure they talked about what they wanted to do with their careers from the very beginning. So if anyone has a clue as to what he may have or have not wanted for his career or his legacy, it'd be somebody like Andre or somebody like Morris Day, people like that who were there with him, in Minneapolis at the very beginning. Or Sheila. Yeah, Sheila.
Put a lot of stock into it.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things I wouldn't like, he proposed on, I think it was either the Love Sexy Tour or Sign Times to one. That kind of thing. I'm like, But, she was with him, quite a bit. Even her, though. Even she had a falling out. And I wish to God I would have stayed, or, it happened, but she had tweeted out, she says, I will never perform with, and I'm paraphrasing, I'll never perform with Prince again, blah, blah, blah. This was in 2000, backstory of that. She was supposed to open for him when they performed in Oakland. He was performing in L.A., the 21 Nights tour, which I went tonight, I think, too. She was supposed to going to perform, her dad was going to perform and all of this, and then in the last minute, he put Larry out there. It was like, ready to go, got a family backstage, all that. So he puts Larry, and let me back up for those who don't know, Larry Graham, the bass player for Sly Family Stone. He's big in the Prince camp, but I won't go into all that. But he had to perform, and Sheila didn't like it, which I wouldn't like it either. I'm at the arena, so I'm set to go. Your boy out there. So she said at that point she was never gonna perform. She loves him, whatever. He's like my brother, but I'm not gonna perform with him ever again. And I had not really heard much. I follow her on Twitter and whatnot, but I had not heard of a reconciliation before he passed. So even her, the flame or the torch or however you want to say it, I question that too, but I know enough to know that she was with him, from off and on from 84 or 83 to 2012. So I would put more stock in what she said. I would, of course, give it a side eye, go to still question it, but I still would put more stock in what she has to say than most of the other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and so would I. She's one of the few people who really, when she speaks, you better listen when it comes to Prince, because really, even though they may have made music together from what 83 through 12 or whatever, she was there from the very beginning. I mean, she was there from I guess I think he met her during his first album promotional tour, because she was with Carlos Santana at the time, and that's when I know she was in a relationship with Carlos Santana, and I think that's when she and Prince first kind of hooked up and were, you know, maybe formulating some sort of romantic relationship, but she couldn't do it because of Santana and things of that nature. So their relationship goes a whole lot deeper than a lot of people, you know, care to give it credit for. And
Right.
because I read some story somewhere where she said he actually came to her house when she was a teenager, and they hung out in her room and just kind of just, you know, that's where they first started vibing.
Right.
So they go. So yeah, I would definitely take anything she says as being gold. Whereas Cat Glover, she can go kick rocks. I mean, come on. But yeah. But when it comes to his legacy and his image, and I've told you this before online and things of that nature, I'm not gonna buy into it. I refuse. I mean, you won't see me rocking a T-shirt, a mug, nothing. I know I'm just one person, but I will. That just turns my stomach, man. It really makes me feel bad.
Well, I will say this: I bought a Purple Rain T-shirt, and I know it's going to the estate. It's got the official Prince logo, and I bought it from I think Hot Topic or a lot of these T-shirts and things that you see on at Kohl's or I see online or whatever on Facebook is not official at all. So that's the stuff, you know, that I would say. Well, like I said, I bought a Purple Rain T-shirt. I've never had one before, and I'm like, I know it's official, but a lot, yes, a lot of the stuff, the bed sheets and the phone covers and stuff like that. No, because it ain't official. It's just, people, off of his name. There's really only one artist that had worked with Prince, Stephen Park. I actually interviewed Steve, for the blog a few years ago, probably 2012 or 10 or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know he has some artwork and stuff like that. He did the Graffiti Bridge. I think he did Diamonds and Pearls. I think he did every album cover up through Planet Earth, I think. So I know anything that he's involved in and has his name on it, it's official. A lot of stuff is a little overpriced for my blood, but yes. But no, I agree with you as far as just the concert T-shirts, the shirts you see the brothers selling out on the street, before and after a concert, just. They went down and got a stencil and stenciled his face on there or the symbol on there, and none of that.
No, and I know I'm the mouse fighting against the gorilla, and I'll never get anywhere with this. But man, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it at all, man. And I hope that there are more people out there, true fans who feel the same way. Like as far as like that Prince Forever album that came out, I think I told you I wasn't going to touch it, and I didn't touch it. I think, like the bootleg stuff, the unreleased stuff, it was unreleased for a reason, because he didn't want everybody to get their grubby paws on his music. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my opinion. I think that he liked the cat and mouse game when it came to his unreleased stuff, and I think deep down, if you're savvy enough to get it, go with God, but don't put it out there for everybody else. It's kind of like Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant. If you can maneuver your way to get it, more power to you. But just don't let somebody else come in. Just don't give it to somebody else. Have them work just as hard as you worked to get it. That's why that tape I gave you went through so many hands and made its way to you. You know, I didn't take that to WIBB. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna date both of us here because you're older, but we're still the same, basically the same age. Back in the day, let's say, and I'm gonna say a word to you, and as soon as I say it, you'll go, yeah, gold mine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Leafing through the magazine, I remember leafing through the magazine, finding every little advertisement that had something to do with Prince, and you would circle it, you would tear it out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would keep them in a little book, and I would send off for a tape or a videotape or whatever. And then, then the import stores or whatever would come about. And I'll never forget this story. I think it was 97. It was 97. I was in, what's the store up in Atlanta, up in Buckhead? Wax and Facts.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was up at Wax and Facts, and I was in there all the time, and I would always go in and ask, hey, where are your Prince boots? Let me see what you got. So I went in there one day, and I was like, where are your Prince boots? Sorry, we don't sell boots. I'm like, we don't sell boots. I was in here like a month ago. Yeah, like I asked, you go behind the counter, you pull out a crate that has CDs in it, and no, we don't have. He kind of looks at me with this little wink. He says, we have imports. And I was like, okay, well, let me get your Prince imports. Okay, yeah. And he goes behind the counter. So what had happened, and this is kind of unrelated, but related at the same time, the Bigs. Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker, one of the guys from Hootie, had gone into Wax and Facts. And Wax and Facts, for those who don't know, is a and I think it's still there. Is it still there?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a well-known, or it was a well-known record store that they sold, vinyl and hard to find stuff and offbeat and whatever, and they would sell bootlegs too, and you would have to ask for them and da da da. So I was in there, and I know that's not his name, but I'm just using it for that purpose. So he goes in there, and they find their bootlegs, and they're like, no. So they bought them all. An attorney comes in there, and they basically got a cease and desist, whatever. So they had to stop selling the bootlegs, but they didn't stop. They just, they called them imports. So, sure, I used to go in, I lived in Warner Robins, which is like an hour and a half from Atlanta. I would go to Atlanta every now and then, and I would always make a stop by Criminal Records or Wax and Facts, and always ask, for the boots. And I one of my prized possessions is, or heard of it at least, a CD called The Jewel Box. And it was Volume 1 and Volume 2. It was a 3-CD set, 2 CDs, 60 CDs, and all 3 discs in each set. And I think I paid, which was back then for me was a lot of money. I paid like $60. But I got all, at the time, all the hot boots. I say this to say that's the stuff that I miss as far as like collecting, going to the store, asking, for the bootlegs and looking for them and say, okay, this one's got this and this one does it, and is this one worth it, or what's the sound quality, and da 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 da. And days it's just a click of a mouse, and it's all yours. Now, again, I don't know what the fun of that is. I mean, I've done it, yes, I've downloaded stuff, but to me, there's no fun in that. There's no joy. It is, and I know I'm coming off like an old guy, get off my lawn type, type dude, but it's just those. I know those days are gone. I know, bootleg shopping and all that stuff is gone, and there's still a lot of sites out there that have them, but to get them basically. So
yeah,
But yeah, I still go ahead.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Oh, and by the way, Criminal Records is still open. It's in little 5 Points, by the way. Um, but yeah, I think back then, for a drug reference, everybody had a guy when it came to Prince.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a place out in San Antonio, Texas. It was a flea market, and there was this guy who did boots. He had all the Prince boots, and he was my guy. I'll go to him for my fix or whatever, right? I was able to get like Crystal Ball back when it was called Royal Jewels, and that was back in like '88 or whatever. So I'm listening to Crystal Ball and all these, most of the cuts from Crystal Ball. And nobody, I'm playing it for my friends or whatever. And they're like, "What in the hell you get that from?" That because I paid like $90 for it. It was like a 4. I think it was like 4. It was a 4-disc set. I paid $90 for it. And I'll break this stuff out at parties, man. And folks are like, "Brother, can I get a copy?" I'm like, "Hell no, brother. You got to get your own."
His own, yeah. Back then, yeah, this shit was too expensive to be making tapes for folks and all that.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm going through hell and high water to get this stuff, then you need to go through just as much as I went through to get it. Obviously, if it's somebody who's a deep, somebody who's deep into it, like I am, yeah, you tit for tat, you hook each other up. Like, say, if you were to say, "Hey, Zoe, can I get Royal Jewels?" Yeah, I got you. But just somebody who say, "Oh, I heard it. Oh, I like that. Can I get it?" Man, you gotta get out of here. Because I don't want this turned up. At everybody's party. 2 weeks from now. And then you saying, "Well, I got it." There was for lack of a better term, man, there was rules to the game, man. And there was this unwritten language between Prince fans, man, and we knew you had to go through that struggle to get those boots or whatever, man, and there was a respect there. But now that respect is gone. Like I say, you can click a couple times and pretty much get anything, man. So it takes away the luster of that stuff that you can go and sit, you can go sit, put your headphones on and laugh to yourself. I got something nobody else has, there was a value to that to me. So what?
Them days are long gone. So I know it's like us cats. We need to get with the times and stuff like that, and it's hard, because we're used to, we've been collecting and crate shopping, for.
Oh, you just reminded me of something. True story. Let me tell you a quick story, okay? All right. My first wife, I was married for like a year when I was like young, like 22, 23 years old. Anyways, true story. Okay, we had split up, right? And obviously it was an acrimonious split. And I got an apartment. I was in San Antonio. I got an apartment, and I was in the military at the time. So I remember one night I come home from work. I worked the night shift. It was like midnight. I walk home. I lived on the 3rd floor. So as I'm climbing the stairs, walking up to my apartment, I look at the trees, and I see like clothes and stuff in the trees. I'm like, wait a minute, that's strange. Somebody clothes in the tree, and I see fatigues, BDUs. Okay, that's strange. So I go up to my apartment and open the door, and the door is unlocked. I walk in, and my apartment is trashed, just trashed. And all those clothes that I saw in the trees are my clothes. And she spread like syrup and flour and stuff all over my apartment, just trash, just totally vandalized my apartment, right? And honestly, I'm like, who in the world would do this to me? Okay, but I was able to immediately figure out who did it, because my entire apartment was trashed. Everything in my apartment was trashed except for my Prince collection. And I immediately knew it was her, because she knew all the other stuff you set on fire, but you touch my Prince and I'll kill your ass. And I knew it was her. And I knew it was her. So that's...
At least you remembered that. I lost my collection one time. I left my... again, I lived out in the Heritage subdivision. I think you know where that is.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Out a hill, so you would have to know I lived there, and I think someone may have followed me. I don't know. Anyway, so I always left my car unlocked because it's a secluded area, and no one ever breaks it out there. I had and my dad used to always say, "Boy, don't leave your car unlocked." I'm like, we fine. So I hopped in my car and I kept my Prince case right on the passenger seat, and I leaned over. I was gonna grab me a disc and throw in there, and I was like, "Oh, okay, my case is gone." So I went back in the house, and I said, I don't remember taking it in, but maybe I did. So I went to my room and it wasn't there, and I looked, and I was like, so then I thought my dad was messing with me. He was like, I'm going to teach him to lock his door. So I figured he, took my case. I said, all right, Dad, I learned my lesson. Let me get my Prince case because I got to go. He's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, no, my Prince case. You kept telling me lock my door, and I didn't lock it. You took the case. Ha ha, funny, He's like, I ain't got your case. Then, like you, that was the only thing that was. They ain't go through my glove box. They ain't else but my Prince case. And I lost. And this was 96, 97, 98, somewhere in that area. So you know where he was in his career by that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I had lost official CD I had of his, and I lost every I had of his, because the CD case held and this was the old school one. This is kind of you put the actual CD in it, and the cases too. So not the booklet kind,
mm-hmm.
but the kind where you put the CD in.
Yeah.
So I lost not only and I could almost bear it if I had lost just the booklets, or at least I at least had the cases. But no, I lost everything from For You up through I think Crystal Ball. Gone. And then I'm thinking, because Prince was well on his decline then. I'm like, who even wants this stuff? I spent the day. I went around to a couple pawn shops, and I was like, hey, if anybody comes in with a ass load, I'm serious, I did. I went to Wellston Pawn,
mm-hmm.
over on Davis. I went to a few others. And I'm like, if anybody comes in with some, Prince CDs, I'm the owner, and da-da-da, and I described the case, and because my girlfriend at the time had drew a symbol on the case for me, and so those CDs back, so I had to go and re-up, for lack of a better term, my entire arsenal. I had to repurchase everything from, from For You up through Crystal Ball. And thank God for, what was that, Columbia? Columbia House?
Yeah, Columbia House for a penny?
Yep. Thank God. Well, I can tell the story now. I guess the statute of limitations are up on this. So I used to use my friend's address, and I had 8 on accounts. You know how you sign a friend up, you get 4 free, and then your friend gets, the 12,
right.
For free.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that.
I
wouldn't pay the bill because I don't know such and such. I just made up the name. So
I think everybody did that.
My collection back by doing that.
Okay,
I'm proud of it.
I got a question for you on that. How did Columbia House make money? Cause I know everybody and their grandma, because I had 4 or 5 different aliases that I used and everything to get those. How do they make money?
Maybe that's why they're out of business. Because I don't know anybody that actually paid them.
No, and they did that for a grip. When you played it, you would take that penny. And that was it.
Mm-hmm. Because this was before use your credit card
mm-hmm.
or whatever. This was you had to bill you. The what was it, the selection of the month club or whatever. They would if you didn't return the card by a certain date, you would get a CD, and then they bill you. Because I used to get bills. Excuse me. $8, and I wouldn't pay it because, like I say, I don't know a David Walker. No idea.
My name was Akeem Akbar.
I just, again, I just had different names. I said people, people apartments or whatever, round one around. Hey, can I use your address? Yeah, sure. So let me know if I get a package or a box.
Well, I need to give I think we should give a major shout out to Columbia House, because they took care of us back in the day, because they always sent them on time. If you put that penny in there and you sent that card in, they sent you your swag, man, and they never really, it didn't go on your credit or nothing. So thank you, Columbia House. You really took care of her brother back in the day. So shout out to Columbia House.
And what was the
BMG.
BMG.
BMG, yes sir.
Shout out to them.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I got one more question for you, man. I got one more question for you. I need an honest answer.
All right.
Okay. Is Tony M the Antichrist?
Okay. You know what? I used to think so, and let me say this. I listen to Peach and Black podcast. They're a group of great guys. They're in Australia. They do a great show. They interviewed him, and it was honestly the first time heard Tony as a person, talking as a real person. The only thing I knew him from was the Prince records and how I hated his rap and all of that. But he's so far removed from that now, and he's kind of in the camp again. And again, I can't remember which side of the camp he's on. I think he's on the quote unquote good side of the camp, but I just kind of knew respect for him, This is now. Now, if I put on Push or Jughead or Love to the Nines or My Name is Prince or anything that he's featured on, oh yeah, I hate him. But hearing him, like I said, just hearing him talk and hearing him tell stories and someone, that's okay. Maybe this guy gets a bad rap.
No, stop.
Well, I was gonna say, I said maybe.
you know what? Listening to Tony M on Prince records makes me think of. It makes me think that I had a chance to be on a Prince record, because I was a much better rapper than Tony M.
Well,
okay,
well,
because
I think you've gone on record too. Jughead, Jughead's my least favorite Prince song of all time. It's not even in the song. It's he's still rapping it, but it's basically a Tony M song. I hate that song. I hate everything about it. Even the Diamonds and Pearls era, I don't like. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the Tony M and the
Kirky J.
Did you have the Get Off video, the long video that had Gangsta Glam and Violet the organ grinder on it?
Yes.
Okay. See, and again, hated that too. I hated that mankini that Prince is wearing at that. I don't know, just all of that. I just don't like that era. And I think that was the first time in Prince's career where he tried to be, and I hate this word, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Try to be black, prove how black he was and how much quote unquote street cred he had, and da 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 da.
Had the microphone like a gun.
Microphone shaped like a gun. Yep, exactly. Yeah, but
hey, Shad.
Yeah.
You just a simpleton that bust you like a pimple, son.
You're not gonna get me to defend a Tony M rap. By no means.
You just a simpleton that bust you like a pimple, son.
What song is that even from? I don't even know.
That's from My Name is Prince, man.
Oh wow. I've listened to that rap over the years.
Lickety split, I get old shit.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Like I say, the only positive thing I'll say about Tony M is that he got on. He did his thing. Prince, for whatever reason, and I know the reason, but I'm not going to speculate. He liked it. He got on. He did his thing. He made his money. He got the tour, I'm assuming he, probably got some females too because of it. I know what he's doing now.
What is he doing now?
Parlay it into anything else. I mean, he's like me working at a, just 9-to-5 desk job, which is cool. Hey, bills are paid or whatever. And now there's kind of renewed interest in him. So, in that respect, I do, because hey, he did something that most people didn't do. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, no shade on him as far as him getting on, because hey, if I would have said those same lyrics, if Prince would have wrote those lyrics for me, I would have said them. I've been down with him. Okay, so no shade on him for that, but yeah, that's the black eye on he's the black eye on Prince's legacy to me. And Tony M, if you're listening out there, if I ever in my lifetime meet you in person, you and I, we're gonna have a fist fight. I'm gonna punch him dead in the grill. He might beat my ass, but I'm gonna get the first swing in. It's gonna be on and popping. There are two people on this planet that if I ever see them in person, I'm gonna beat their ass. Just not even saying a word, to go walk up to them and start swinging. That's Tony M and Shaka Khan. I'm telling you now, if I ever meet Shaka Khan in person, I'm gonna try to pull every last weave out of her head, man.
I'm surprised you didn't say Larry Graham. I would say Larry over Shaka, but I understand Shaka too.
I give Larry credit because he was an actual musician, and he really contributed a lot to the history of music, through his work with Sly Stone and everything. So I give him a little bit of a pass. But what Shaka Khan did to "I Feel for You," man, is unconscionable to me, and I can't express enough how that song makes me want to throw up every time I hear it.
Even the Melly Mel?
Man, I hate everything about that song, man. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me, man. I never liked it from day one. And if I hear it today, man, I just want to bust a nut, man. Oh my God, that is an awful song. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Oh my God, I can't believe
some other bad remakes out there, but that one's I don't know. I think that was okay. There's some more that are I mean, lesser known, of course. You got Melissa Morgan doing
"Oh Do Me Baby," yeah.
Turner doing I think it's Let's Pretend We're Married. I think Cyndi Lauper did "When You Were Mine."
Yeah.
Genuine doing "When Doves Cry."
Yeah.
I think the only two remakes of Prince's that I liked was PM Dawn doing 1999, and they did it like totally different. They didn't try to the way Prince they would do it. I respect that. And really, although I don't think it works, I liked TLC's "If I Was Your Girlfriend." Although the meaning bastardized by them doing it, because as we talked about, it's a guy singing, not girl singing. But I don't know. And I think because her T-Boz, the way she sings anyway, it's kind of, so it still kind of sounds like she's singing it as a guy. So I think that's why I can tolerate it. Oh, and D'Angelo's "She's Always in My Hair." I think that's probably the best remake out of them all.
I agree.
And again, they did it different enough where it sounds like them, but you can still hear Prince in it. But I'm glad that D'Angelo definitely did it.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't mention Sinead O'Connor.
I don't. Well, first of all, it's not technically, she's not redoing a Prince song. I don't even count that. I hate that song. I hate that all the love that it got. I'm glad that Prince took it back and reclaimed it, so to speak. to her for hearing the song at least and recognizing that it's worth redoing. But I mean, the family they already knocked it out of the park. So I just that song is a remake.
I beg to differ. I actually like it, but
Wow, really?
Yeah, I do, man.
You're the first person that I've ever heard that like that song.
I do, man. I guess because, man, I like Sinead O'Connor, man. Back then, man, during that time, man, I thought she was like one of the sexiest people on the planet. So I had something to do with it, I guess. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this: given what you know now, just about the whole history and everything about the song and how it came from, that way, you still like the song?
So what?
Do you still like the song, knowing now the history of it and just how, just the history of it?
I still like it. Obviously,
everything that went down between them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the family version is but yeah, just far as it being a song to listen to, I don't run from it if it's on the radio or whatever. So, it is what it is. But I don't hold that against him like a whole. I feel for you against him and Shaka Khan. So.
Yeah. I think whenever we get together to do this again, we definitely got to talk about the non-availability of Apollonia 6, The Family, Madhouse, Jill, all of those.
you know it's coming. They're gonna cash in on everything they can cash in on, man. So just slow your roll, pump your brakes. It's coming. Trust me.
well, to disclose to some people may already know it. The Family and Madhouse are on Tidal. If you're on there, I think they're on Apple. I want to say Spotify too. I'm only on Tidal, so I can only speak for Tidal.
No, I'm a Spotify guy, and no.
They're not okay. They're not on Spotify. They're on at least 3 services. They're not official. And I don't know how long they've been up there for a while, and I don't know the legalities and how it works and how they're up there. They're good quality. They got the artwork and all of that. So if you're a Prince fan, go check him out. If you're not a Prince fan and you want to hear some other stuff that he was doing, especially Madhouse. Madhouse is for those who don't know, jazz, instrumental songs. It's tied to the album's title 8. The songs are called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Definitely check it out. You won't be disappointed.
I agree. Great album. I still listen to it to this day. So, all right, Sean, it's about that time. So what?
I said now it's on Tidal. I listen to it even more now.
Yeah, right on, man. Right on. All right, dude. So I know I gotta let you go. You got more important things to do, and so.
Well, I won't say more important. I mean, I can say talk Prince, talk shop with you all day long, but unfortunately, I gotta go pay bills and work, and that pesky thing called work is getting in the way of something I love to do.
I feel you, man.
Gotta get these bills paid.
I feel you, man. Yeah, it's too bad we can't live for free, but hey, I love what we do. So thank you for taking time out to discuss these issues with me, Prince, and I'm sure we'll do it again real soon. Talk Prince, movies, and everything else. Sean Hill, Hill Street Views. He's online, so check him out.
I'm online, yeah. Yep, I'm on Twitter. If anybody wants to hit me up on Twitter, at Hill Street Views. You can friend me on Facebook if you like. I'm Sean Hill, SEAN HILL. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Talk shop, talk Prince, and talk movies, talk pop culture. And hit me up. Absolutely.
And of course, you can find me, What Lonzo Thinks at gmail.com, What Lonzo Thinks at What Lonzo Thinks Twitter. Also support me on my Patreon page. Drop some loot on me so I can keep this thing going and not do it in the dark. Once again, I appreciate your time, Sean. Let's do it again. And this is What Lonzo Thinks. Bye.